is, I love it one-sided. It should really be give and take. Fill you up and leave me empty. Baby, was that my mistake? Covering these feelings, going through changes. I'm just so mad right now, I can't even think straight. So I'ma just tweet it and delete it, knowing you won't read it before we get too far away. I need to clear my mind. I'd rather just tweet it and delete it before we cross the line and we reach a point we can't rewind.
Don't even worry about tweeting.
Rewind. 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 Tell me what choice I have now. I just wanna get it right with you. But if we try to talk about it, our history says we'll just argue. And I know you're gonna act a fool, and then no one could tell the difference between me and you, babe. Watching from a distance, hiding these feelings, going through changes. I'm just so mad, but now it's at my own expense. So I'ma just tweet it and delete it, knowing you won't read it before we get too far away. I need to clear my mind. I'd rather just tweet it and delete it before we cross the line.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, people.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
I didn't think you were going to make it with that bottle of water in your hand. It is Wednesday, March 24, 2021. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing this morning?
We're doing all right, you know. Hey, Bubba, Mr. Vaccinated. Mr. Vaccinated, how you doing?
You in the elite class, bro.
Feeling crappy as hell.
Talk about it. Hold on now.
Well, before you talk about it, we got the video. Like to see it? Here you go.
Here you go.
Hey, y'all. I'm getting my first dose, so here we go. All right, I'm ready.
This is what I want to do for you.
Okay.
Give you a tissue because your head is shining.
It's shining.
You look good for the camera.
I do, right. Because they will talk about me.
I'm going to talk about you.
Okay. All right, now we good to go. Now I look good.
You scared of needles, bro?
Man, not at all. And it went like, dude, I really didn't feel anything when she did it. It was just like, okay, that's it. Like normally, you know, you feel like the heat or the pressure from the shot. Didn't feel any of that. Yeah. Like I felt the initial hit, and after that, gone.
Wow.
Boom, boom, boom.
But now what I will say is, I feel like crap today. My arm was hurting a little bit yesterday. It feels like when you work out real hard and you rip your muscles after working out for so long, that's what my arm feels like.
It wasn't bad at all.
But now I feel like, man,
but
headache, stomach
video,
ache.
it wasn't bad at all.
Please.
Y'all go get the vaccine. But today is the day after. And so you're saying that just really what you have right now is a sore arm, as if you worked out too much on that one arm.
Man, sore arm, stomach's bothering me, headache. Yeah, like almost like a cold, kind of flu kind of feel.
So when you say
like,
a stomach bothering you, is it like a is you have the runs or you? What is happening here? I need to know because baby, I don't like to be out of commission. So.
And she needs details.
No, I need to know what kind of, is it just a cramping situation?
How are your intestines doing?
There are different ways.
Are they gurgling? Are they tied in a knot?
It's like
Is it cramping up? Is it just something that comes and goes? What is it?
You know, it almost feels like, now granted, I didn't have an appetite at all yesterday. So I didn't eat at all until like last night, late night. But now it just almost feels like you got to use the bathroom, but you don't have to. So it's just like upset stomach. More so anything.
Okay, that's not. I mean, that's not too bad.
So maybe a Tums or something will help alleviate that.
Yes,
but
yes.
That's not anything so stressful. You're right.
It's really not. And, like I said, the symptoms they're like really, really mild. But I can definitely use like another 4 to 6, 8 hours of sleep.
A whole other day.
A whole other day of sleep. That's what I feel like. Yeah.
So if you are working in corporate, you're saying to get it on maybe a Friday after work so that you can sleep through the weekend.
Guess who's taking the day off today, goddammit?
No, hell no. Take it on a Monday.
Are they giving people days off?
Man, just be like, hey.
I'm gonna flip it today. God dang it.
Flip it.
Don't you dare use your weekend. Take it from the corporate overlords.
You're right.
They are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. But there are some
especially
people,
like
I said, we were just talking about that, Ben, James, we were just talking about that. We were saying, you work a little bit for them, and then you call them and be like, hey, I'm not feeling too well. You know what? Yep. You actually can take 3 hours of your day off. Not the whole day, but you're a good one. You like to work, so let's keep you working. Let's keep that horse going. And we'll give you that 3 hours because did you say you had coronavirus? Oh, I am so sorry to hear that.
Or did you get the vaccine? Oh, okay.
Did you say you were going into labor? Okay, we're going to see you tomorrow. Okay.
Did you say you're cramping? Did you say you have severe cramps? I know how that feels, says the man. The male manager. I know how that feels. So
I can identify with that situation there.
Let me tell you about
my wife.
I always have to go to the grocery store and go down that special aisle, once a month. It's just really embarrassing
to
me.
Special aisle time.
The special aisle, and then be like, her flow is so heavy. My gosh, I'm just trying to help her as much as I can.
Who are you talking to, sir? I need the day off, sweetie.
I need a day off, okay? Especially now that you said that. I need a day off.
Right. It's just like it's crazy, but
y'all are out of your mind.
But they do feel because we about tired of them. I know we talk about them every morning, but understand y'all.
Oh my God! Somebody in the chat room said, "Oh, you're somebody said in the chat room, "Oh, you're dilating." Okay. We'll go on your lunch break, and we'll see you in an hour.
Yes. How many centimeters? My wife. Let me tell you, she dilated about such and such centimeters. You're just right
36
there.
centimeters.
Oh, you're right. You can make it
another 3 hours of work.
You can make it 3 more hours. Oh, your water broke. Oh, no problem. Can you give me that report by the end of the hour, though?
While you're in the hospital, see if you can email that report to me. Thank you. And congratulations on your new bundle of jewelry, Patty.
Well, you said the head's poking out. Oh my gosh. Well, let's have that baby right here so you can get back to work.
Oh, corporate America. I don't miss it. I had a good experience in corporate America, though. The one job that I actually consider to be actual corporate. There's other jobs, and I'm like, I don't really put them up there with it. But I had a pretty good experience with corporate America. They let us take, their rule was, I can't say it on the air, but it was get ish done and don't F it up, right? That was our motto. The CEOs used to walk around like, get it done. But this was a trade-off. The trade-off was, take as many days as you want, many vacations that you want to take. It didn't matter. They just told you to use good judgment. If you got your work done, you could leave. That was my corporate experience. So I'm sorry you guys are working for these.
Everybody isn't
evil corporations.
Yeah,
they're not
everybody
able.
Isn't able.
Yeah. Somebody asked in the chat room which vaccine did you get?
Oh, I got the Pfizer vaccine. Yeah.
So I, yesterday actually, and I wish we had that to play, Ben. That same commercial that was that you guys played over on Roland.
That was a funny commercial
on Roland Martin yesterday, and there was a commercial that they played. We played the guy's commercial on this show before, one of his sketches, but he was talking about Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, I believe. And it was even though it was a funny sketch. If we can pull that up, probably
that would be great.
Time during the show, that would be great.
Yeah.
But it definitely educated me more on which one I would like to get from the percentage and things like that. So Yeah,
I mean, all of them, from what they're saying, like the only one I'm going to be honest with you. So the one that sent off a red flag for me, and I'm like, Johnson, go get it. Moderna, go get it. Pfizer, go get it. But they're trying to do the AstraZeneca. And I know that they're getting from, it was just bad. And maybe it was just bad press because there was such a small sample size. But when they start saying like the blood clots, because that's like an issue in my family, and I lost some friends to some blood clots, and like that just sent off my alarms. So, but I don't even think FDA has approved it yet. They're trying to get emergency approval for the AstraZeneca vaccine here, and it is what it is.
For real.
It is a good name. It's a good name as opposed to Moderna. Murder. Like that. If we can get
actually sounds like to me a birth control. That's what I'm getting like those commercials. If your doctor,
yeah,
Moderna. Like,
what was the name of that actor? I want to get that. I'm trying to find that clip because it was hilarious. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the Moderna that definitely sounds like something that is birth control, and it's like when you go meet him out in the streets, you're gonna be like, hey, what you want? You want that Moderna?
Get that Moderna?
Or you want that Pfizer? Oh, you said Johnson.
Oh, you want that Johnson? Oh, you want that Johnson? I got you.
All I know is
it's not 90%, but it's almost.
all of them are like 100% good at keeping you out of the hospital, right? Yeah. From AstraZeneca all the way across to Pfizer. But I'm trying to cop that Pfizer because everybody in my family that's gotten one has gotten a Pfizer, and they all seem to be doing okay. So, and then Thursday, Rebecca, because you were trying to find one so you can get out in these streets. Everybody over 16 in the state of Georgia can get the vaccine starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
God, because I'm gonna be in these streets. Not really.
Let's get it, sister.
But
not for
I'm
real.
I'm gonna go be in these streets to get this, and then then slowly move my way street to street, block to block.
You gonna make the rounds?
I'm gonna make my rounds. Yeah.
Did I hear brunch on Sunday, Rebecca? Brunch, Ben? Rebecca?
She said brunch. She said brunch on Sunday, brunch on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No, Bubba, when I get that, me and you can finally meet up. And, I'm going to be like, what's up? We could do that.
Y'all have to FaceTime me in.
Let's get it.
FaceTime me in.
Yeah, we'll FaceTime and then put Ben like on the chair. So.
On the chair. Yeah, I would be like, I'm like, everybody go. I'm nobody. This is gonna be me. You up? Hey,
welcome to Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon
and nobody else.
Yeah, he's gonna name it. He's like, welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and look over and not care who doesn't like it. Yeah, Bubba ain't here. Becca ain't here.
Bro. No. I'm gonna go buy me some turntables. And then I'm gonna put me on a leopard skin, snake skin top. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be all three of y'all. We got Dwayne. You just put me in all three.
Good morning. Welcome to Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it. He's gonna switch up and do all three voices.
What's up, y'all?
I think what we're trying to tell America right now is that we don't give a damn about the news today. Like the first
Honestly,
2 days of this week were so horrible in covering the news. It was just
we need a breather.
We just need a breather. Like, so if you came to get the news, I mean, stick around for maybe about 15 more minutes. We'll get to the news in about 15 more minutes. In the meantime, Rebecca, with the snake skin, what's going on?
The snake skin.
But rattlers aren't even that. Do rattlers come in that complexion of print? I don't know. I have no. No, I'm not talking about the actual. I'm talking about the actual snake. I'm talking about the actual snake. I have no idea.
Oh, yes, they do. Listen, we used to see. It looks like this one is dried up in the sun. I'll tell you that. And it's brown colored though. But we would any place on FAMU, you will see like a dead rattlesnake. I don't know why it was a thing, but like it'll be going up the stairs, and we weren't ever scared. It's just like we know it's dead, we know it's dried up. We got to get to class and just keep it moving. But it'll look like this somewhere on campus. There will be a dead rattlesnake. And
wait, y'all actually had actual rattlesnakes in Tallahassee? What the hell is wrong with y'all?
What did you think we were called? The rattlers?
I just thought y'all called yourself rattlers because y'all couldn't think of nothing else. Y'all saying y'all have rattlers running around the city? Oh,
no, on that hill where the school was built.
Hell to the no.
Yeah, no, that was a thing. Mm-hmm. That was actually a thing.
So that's where that came from.
Yeah, that's why.
See, we don't actually have wildcats in Daytona. Like if you got a wildcat running around your city, you better call the animal control unit. Y'all playing around with actual rattlers.
Yeah.
Wait,
Ben.
we did have Wildcats?
There were actual Wildcats.
Get the hell out of
Daytona.
here.
They
I'm
weren't
done.
cats, but it's some Wildcats.
I'm
in
done.
Daytona.
I'm done. I'm done. Nah, y'all had me in these deadly ass. See, I thought the deadliest thing in Daytona was the Klan. Y'all had Wildcats in the Daytona,
Rebecca,
man.
Rebecca, he still ain't caught it yet, Rebecca.
He didn't get it. You don't
He
get
ain't
it.
get it?
Wildcat in Daytona.
Well, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about Wildcats in Daytona. I missed it. All right. Anyway, moving on. I'll catch you when we do the replay. That's it.
Anywho, but yes, they we had, rattlers there or whatever. But it's not like rattlers, rattlesnakes. But it's not like, oh my God, this place is swarming with rattlesnakes. At one point, I believe when people were working and things like that, way back in the day when it was FAMC, because your school just became a university just yesterday. So you remember, but way back when, before we graduated to a university,
The shade is real.
when it was FAMC, there was there were rattlers, but people were working and things like that on the hill and stuff. So
Y'all playing around.
I don't know.
Like, I don't do snakes at all, let alone an actual rattlesnake.
I don't do
It's
snakes
real.
either, but it's so crazy. On campus, it's like, listen, when your focus is getting to class before your professor embarrasses you, like you really don't even. It'd be like, oh,
Y'all running past carcasses of dead rattlesnakes
Yes,
and just act
yes.
like everything's normal.
yes, and then get on Twitter because Twitter started to pop off at that time. So get on Twitter and it's like we didn't really repost. You had to like screenshot and then, whatever. But that's what they'd be like, oh my God, did you see it over there by B.L. Perry? Did you see it over there by J School Building? Did you see it over there by the calf? Yes. Yes.
Not at all. We're good. I'm good on the actual snakes.
Definitely, I'm so
snake.
good.
I have not been okay with snakes since I was 8 years old, and I went to take the trash out, and I opened up the trash can, and a snake jumped out at me. And if I'd have had like reflexes like Neo from the Matrix, that thing would have bit me in the face. So ever since then, it's like
wow.
a lot of people
Hell
I might get in
no.
trouble. What's the name of that animal thing that you get in trouble with all the time? If you
They're not popular right now for
Listen,
some reason, but
let me tell you something.
PETA.
I
Oh,
kill
yeah,
a snake
uh-huh.
when I see a snake. See a snake, kill a snake. I just can't do it. I'm sorry, Peter. Sorry. So anyway,
But you know what I'm really scared of though? Like, I hate spiders, bruh. Like, it could be the smallest spider.
Like,
I'ma
get your
turn into
corners.
a-
Look,
I'm turning
everybody
into a little
who's been
bitch.
sitting in the house, get the broom, get your corners, okay? Because those
Please.
snakes, those spiders, those snakes, those wildcats. Because I've seen in Georgia where y'all got some.
Y'all got the brown recluse here in Georgia, and I don't play with y'all.
There's a wildcat here for real. What is the damn?
Yeah, it
it's
is
like
a
big old
wildcat.
cat that's been appearing in people's yards, depending on where you live. And yes, so there's it's just
for real.
a lot.
And matter
It is.
of fact, as soon as spring hit, but see, we got climate change here. Normally, on the day spring hits in Georgia, all hell breaks loose. Everything is flying around. Eggs are hatching. Flies are
Your
going
car
around,
is yellow.
Everything.
Oh, God.
So we've had a couple of days without that happening because it's so cold right now. But here y'all have some real wildlife here in the state of Georgia. Like, and if you don't get like some treatment and some some people to come out and spray your stuff, you'll have scorpions in your house. You'll have brown recluses running in your house. You got snakes in the backyard. Y'all, it's on a whole nother level. But it's a pretty state though. Nice and green.
It is.
It's okay.
Bro, I saw a whole coyote over here in the hood the other day.
Coyote?
A
What the hell y'all got coyotes in Georgia for?
Bro, I'm in
Man,
East
look.
Point. What the hell? I looked over.
I
I'm like,
believe
coyote looked at me,
that they
I'm
got
like,
them over there.
Yes, especially
The
where I
worst
am,
we
it's
had to
like
worry
all
about
woods and
in
stuff.
Boston. The worst we had to worry about in Boston were mice. Not even rats. Not even real rats, but mice. And I would have thought when my wife saw a mouse for the first time, you would have thought it was like Jesus Christ came in the house or the Satan himself. Like it was like she started jumping and running, and it was a little baby, like the little cute little Mickey Mouse, little mouse. But that's it. Like no snakes. No spider, nothing crazy like that, like y'all get down here in Georgia.
Yeah, well, because when you come further south, it gets more. We in kindergarten, we were taught what to do if a gator pulls up on you. Like we were literally taught what to do if a gator growing up.
No, you must have been in Florida. Okay, Florida.
Yeah, because growing up in South Florida, we were taught, what to do if a gator pulls up on you. I wish, and I don't know if they do in New York, because when I moved to New York after college, undergrad. I wish they taught the kids what to do if those rats that are small people pull up on you on the subway while you waiting for your subway or your train to come. I wish they would teach the kids, because they be looking at them kids like, hey, precious. And I'm like, yo, like, lady, get your kid away from the rail thing. Because those things be jumping up. They'll jump into the damn trains, but they be looking at the children.
Yeah. You see some real rats in the subways.
Living in New York, in the in Brooklyn, and in the hood. The hood. I actually,
not the gentrified hood, but the hood.
No, now it's gentrified, but at the time it was still the hood. The block over was starting to be gentrified first. But I literally slept in the room. I told you guys I had to share with 2 little girls and a dog that would come and visit me to pee every morning. So on this particular night, the family wasn't there. The family had went on vacation. I was like, finally, I get to just lay here and relax. Slept. Then I heard a sound. I'm like, Lord, the dogs ain't here. What is that sound? And I had a bag of chips in my bag, because, in New York, you always have to travel with some kind of snack or whatever in your bag or whatever. So I had a bag of chips in my bag. All I heard was something get into my purse.
Huh?
And I stayed. Listen, when I say I stayed as stiff, like I did not move.
Something got into your purse.
I heard something get into my purse. The next morning, open up that purse.
Everything was
that damn chip bag.
Empty.
Was
they
open.
tore up your chips.
It tore the chips up, left the crumbs, and I just sat there and listened to whatever.
Rebecca, she ate that in her sleep. She was hungry.
No, because it was crazy, because I'm like, I had those chips, but I don't even eat those type of chips. But it was like, if I'm really, really hungry on the train or whatever, because my route was long. But that damn rat in the home that we could never find ate my chips.
See, now I don't see Peter gonna come get me too, because I didn't leave the mice in the house. Like, there was nothing. Like, if there's a mouse in the house, it's gonna die before.
A mouse doesn't belong in the house, but then again, the mice can tell us the home doesn't belong on my old block.
Yeah,
I got ancestors that was rolling here first.
That's true. There you go. So in our own way, we colonizing these animal territories. Damn, colonizing black folks out here. Taking up these
damn colonizing ass humans.
And there you have it. All right. So are we gonna do some news?
We're gonna do some news. We're definitely.
Let's do some news, y'all.
What you want to do? You want to start? So I don't even see if we talk about the A1 is in our list. Let's. Oh, I don't know what I want to talk about, because I don't want to bring my energy down. But let's go to B1. B1. Let's talk about some ignorance in the media with Joe Scarborough. Morning Joe. Joe Scarborough discussed the current surge of children being held by Border Patrol officials. A senior advisor and communications person for Julian Castro, Sawyer Hackett, pointed out on Twitter that nothing has changed between the Trump administration and the Biden administration regarding their policy for unaccompanied minors. It has been U.S. law for 50 years that the U.S. doesn't send asylum-seeking children back. This is directly opposite of what Joe Scarborough said yesterday morning. Let's take a look at that clip.
Well, again, I just have to say one more time, like we said yesterday, those children made the journey in the first place because the United States of America now is sending a message to those children. If you journey across the desert, you make a long and dangerous trip, we're going to let you in. And we're going to let you in if you're unaccompanied. And sometimes, and we're going to find this out throughout the show, you can come in and we're not going to even give you a court date. So the administration right now, the Biden administration right now, is the one that's luring these children to the border with the promise of being able to get in. So they can't say, oh, well, they've come all the way across the desert. We can't just let them go back across the desert. No, you can figure out a way, a humane way, a safe way to transport them back home, I suspect. But again, as long as you keep sending the message out. They're
sending a different message now.
No, not yesterday. It's like, oh, no, if they're up here, we're not going to send them back. We're just going to
discuss it in the morning. Aren't they married?
I was going to say, they didn't talk about this before they came to the office because they disagreed on air. Like
did we not do it in the bed? Like, did we not talk about it in the bedroom? Like,
right.
Don't try it on air today.
They don't cover the stories before they get in because she was like, well, they did it. And she's trying to help save her husband. from the obvious problem of what he's saying. He's basically saying send these kids back. That's not what America does. And they didn't do it underneath the Trump administration with regard to asylum-seeking kids who come by themselves. Usually those kids, like we were talking yesterday, those kids have sponsors in this country, so it's not as though they don't have a place to go when they get in this country. And if we really dig down into it, most of the problems that are happening in their war-torn countries are the result of the United States in the first place. And now Joe Scarborough, who's like the crown jewel of centrism and liberalism on MSNBC, he's starting, and all of these people, it's crazy. All of a sudden, does anybody remember this being a crisis at the border underneath the Trump administration? With one exception, they wanted to build a wall. Like, that's what Donald Trump wanted to do. But none of the media outlets were pounding the pavement every single day, calling what was happening at the border a crisis. And so all of a sudden, now you have all these media outlets changing how they're talking about this issue at the border as a crisis. And what that does is it just pushes this conservative right-wing framing that they're trying to push Joe Biden to be even harder at the border than he currently is. It's just buck wild to me that this is happening on the outlet MSNBC that everyone thinks is so liberal.
Buck wild is the term that you use. I think that's really funny. But what he said was, even in how he tried to paint it as if, okay, he said they're basically telling them, come closer if you make this long journey, children. Like, we will let you in, but only if you come unaccompanied, But it's almost like that sounded better than what he was trying to say. Like, it's all wrong now. Like Dwayne was saying, it's almost like, come to the border, we got candy canes for you. Like, we got candy at the border for you children. Like, it sounds creepy. It all sounds bad. You guys tried to build a wall, and then now under the Biden administration, it's almost like, it does sound like, come and we'll take you, but only the kids. Not if you come with your parents, we'll separate you still. We'll put you in these. Let
there be light. in these cages.
We'll put you in these cages. I'll fix this in a second, but I want to finish my statement though. But it's like, it's all bad all around. I don't understand why they're acting like, even on the show with Scarborough and his wife, who seem to not be
on one accord,
united on one front.
Right.
But it's almost like, everybody's trying to figure out what works and what isn't good, and what between both administrations. To me, they're both not. I don't care how we paint it. We're talking about kids, and even if they come with their parents, we still have to give options for them. And yes, sometimes they have sponsors here. And even if they don't, what can we do to assist them? You guys, yes, and in these countries, you guys have put your foots, necks, bodies, your business into business that isn't yours. And have been the cause of situations like people dying, people getting sick, people being homeless, because you guys went to these countries and put your business in there, and you
spread
had
democracy.
And I'm talking about United States, by the way. So it let them in. Give them opportunity, since America is the dream, right? Let them in. Why is it a struggle? And you guys paint this picture like, okay, America is the American dream. When you travel here, he literally was like, they have to go through these long journeys. Like, why do they have to suffer? If the border is right here, sweetie, and I can literally just jump over, walk across the street, do whatever I need to do to get to freedom, let me do it. Let me do it.
And the funny thing, like, you can't really talk about immigration in this country and not mention to white folks about Ellis Island. Right? How the majority of the people who are in this country, white folks in this country, they have their lineage comes through Ellis Island, which was a checkpoint, but for all intents and purposes was a free for all. Anybody who could make it there could get into this country. And now there's this desire to keep this country from quote unquote browning, which is like actually the word that they use, the browning of America. Now the entire mindset towards immigration has changed because, they're like, we got enough people here because the people who are coming here now are not white or European descendants, right? And so we see this problem through this country, but I hate the fact that all of a sudden the media itself has allowed the conversation to be about a border crisis when it is the exact scenario, even down to the cages, right? The good and the bad of the scenario is exactly the same, and it hasn't changed in the last 3 months of Joe Biden being president, but they're trying to make it this big, scary issue. And I tell you what, the next thing we're going to be hearing about caravans, right? Because that's all they talked about during the Obama administration.
I remember.
The caravans of people who are coming, and this is why we need to do X, Y, and Z at the border. The next thing you're going to hear about is MS-13, right? The Mexican gangs. Oh, MS-13 is a problem at the border. And that's because that's how they always limit the options of people, particularly Democrats, in terms of actual policy. They block the future potential of policy that would help with regards to immigration. Anything positive that we could do with regard to immigration, they're heading it off at the pass right now by scaring everybody and making them think that, oh, now, not when Donald Trump was president, but now we have a crisis at the border, and it's all BS.
It was funny because during Donald Trump's, I don't know what to call it, presidency, because he wasn't my president. But during Donald Trump's president, he did use the trauma of people who had families that were killed by MS-13. It was like 2 of them. And he made sure he chose families of color, like Black families and Hispanic families. And he, at one rally that was huge, he made them stand up, tell their story, and literally use those 2 families as the reason why Mexicans cannot come here to America, why they should build the wall. Yeah. So I haven't forgotten those things. I haven't forgotten any of those things. And yet they want to make it seem like under Biden, it's almost different because we're saying different things and things like that. But they still want to make it, but the people like Scarborough want to still divide it and say, even though he's allowing people to come in, children at least to come in, it's still bad. We shouldn't be allowing anyone to come here because it's America, and we should be stopping people and vetting kids. Like we should be. It doesn't make any sense.
These children are like these clowns. I wonder. So either Joe Scarborough is maybe 1 or 2 generations if he came through Ellis Island, or he might be, his lineage might actually go back to the Confederacy. I don't know. No, he
doesn't give
lineage.
that. He gives that guy that has some weird issue with the Royals, the one that we were just talking about.
Oh, Pierce. He gives you Pierce Morgan vibes. I'm just talking about the hypocrisy that he absolutely does remind me of Pierce Morgan. Now that you say that shit, but he absolutely is playing this game, this hypocritical game of trying to be hard on immigration. And 1 or 2 things is true about him. He's either a descendant of an immigrant himself, or what else is in your background, Joe? So I would say back the hell up and stop peddling these conservative talking points for the purposes of hurting these children who are seeking asylum in this country as a result of American foreign policy. So if you don't want them to come here, then America needs to stop exploiting those countries and interfering with their politics and undermining their democracies and installing dictators like we have done time immemorial.
Haiti.
Period. That's all. Mary had a little lamb right there. One more story before we go to a break. Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, the Senate Minority Leader, while addressing the press on Wednesday, Mitch McConnell told reporters that he was committed to preserving the filibuster as it currently exists, in part because there is no, watch this, there's no racial history to it. Let's take a look at this lying man. Let's take a look at this report.
Turtle.
You argue the filibuster is not rooted in racism. Historians differ on this. Are you concerned about the perception? If it is used against advancing voting rights, certainly the public perception is that Republicans are going to use this tool to make it harder for Black people to vote.
Yeah, actually, historians do not agree. It has no racial history at all. None. So there's no dispute among historians about that.
There is no history among historians about that. But that's actually a bold-faced lie, right? August 28th, 1957, U.S. Senator Strom Thurmond engaged in the longest filibuster in history to delay the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1957. That's just number one. If you go back a few decades, the late 18th and 19th century, it was used again to halt the process of anti-lynching bills. The first anti-lynching bill wouldn't pass in the United States until 2019, 2 years ago, as a result of the racist filibuster. Mitch McConnell is trying to say that the filibuster did not emerge from debates over slavery or segregation, which, technically might be correct, but that's not the spirit of what he's trying to say. The spirit of what he's trying to say is to absolve the usage of the filibuster over the centuries in this country as a tool to prevent progress for black people in this country. And as it stands right now, Rebecca and James, they are literally using the filibuster as a way to prevent us from securing our voting rights in this country, with House Resolution 1 not being sent over to the Senate because we're not going to be able to get 60 votes. And without 60 votes, they will not be able to pass it. And that's because of the racist ass filibuster. So he's a liar, obviously, but these are the games that they play. And they're playing it with the lives and the voting rights of black people in particular, because as y'all know, in Georgia, they're doing everything they can to keep us from voting.
Yeah. So tell me how this isn't racial. We can start with just that. Like, if you guys are trying to use your laws and to prevent black people from voting, because we know that's what voter suppression is. It definitely it's targeted, for black people and people of color not to get out and vote by any means necessary. So, and especially because the turnouts that we have been doing, y'all gave it to us digitally, y'all gave it to us in the mail. Listen, we're gonna make sure we pull up for this. But they were like, they have to be stopped. So you can't tell me that there is it isn't racial now, and that the history of it isn't racial. Exactly. So having the fact that lynching, where you were discussing that, lynching is still not something that's illegal. Fully illegal. We had to wait till 2019 to present a bill, and I'm pretty sure people have been trying. And finally it was recognized that, hey, maybe lynching black people isn't, we're not supposed to be doing that. Like, that should be something that is done away with. But everything is racial. The whole system, everything you guys created when you stole this land has been racial. And America, I'm talking about America. So, I can't really get with nothing McConnell says. This man is a representative out in Kentucky, you know what I'm saying? And we're a senator out in Kentucky, and we got Breonna Taylor there. This is that same man. So you out of his mouth
Daniel Cameron is his homeboy.
It's his homeboy, and yes, Daniel Cameron is black, but he don't belong here. We have no room for him, no space, nothing. None. The door is closed.
Black card revoked.
But yes, but honestly, he can't say out of his mouth that there's no racial history, nothing on anything, because clearly, the clear man, but clearly his behind definitely has come up.
Nothing to do with race.
Has come up. There's no neck for him to say any word.
That's what that is. All his voice down there.
There's no neck.
This has nothing to do with race. No, it has everything.
He can only lie. Remember when he said that he was going to speak against Donald Trump after the insurrection?
Yeah.
Y'all got me saying insurrection after the terrorist attack at the Capitol.
Terrorist attack.
You remember that? And then he turned around as soon as the smoke cleared. He was like, I never said that.
I'm never going to lie. No, we support Donald Trump.
My dude.
The Republican Party is the party of Trump.
We don't support Mitch McConnell. Bitch McConnell. We don't support him.
What?
And
I was waiting on
he says when it comes to racial anything, you can't speak on saying that the filibuster isn't racial in its history. But go ahead.
They want to rewrite history. They want to rewrite history, and they feel and they're able to get away with it because they have so many little conservative flunkies, conservative little reply boys who are like, oh yeah, there are so many people in this country on social media right now who are so terrified of cancel culture. Watch me, that they go along with the complete revision of history. And so now the reason Mitch McConnell can get away with saying some stuff like that is because there are hundreds of thousands of people in the comment section like, yes, no, of course, it was not racist. It wasn't. And they're going to actively change history. They would rather rewrite it. They would rather rewrite history than to confront the history that is actually rooted deep in white supremacy and racism. So Rachel said that his voice was a little bit lower. So over the next 4 years, James, take us to it.
Because
that's actually spot on right there.
You're giving a mix. There was I got a hint of Obama in there for some reason. But,
right. Let me be clear. What we're not going to do is compare. Anyway, let's go to a break. When we come back, we got more shenanigans and news. More like it or not, after this.
Can't stand you people. Good morning again, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We hope you're enjoying the show thus far. Make sure that you're hitting the like button, share, comment, subscribe, so you know Like It or Not is going down. And make sure that you stay tuned. We have the Like It or Not Patreon account coming soon, so you don't want to miss it, y'all. Like It or Not.
You a front, you say anything long as you get what you want. Trying to play me like a fool, homie, I am not a clown. It ain't
Mama, good morning, I see you. Good morning, mother.
Now I'm on the verge of a
Sensation, good morning.
Meltdown. I should have known when I met her back at Midtown, at Dogwood, when I was going through a rough patch, but it's all good. I even told her about the dog times I had in childhood when we was driving off of I-10 in Kirkwood. Now all that time I never get it back. You wanted that, used to hate when I didn't want to hang. I noticed that, used to talk about your
good morning.
with your next jack. Used to mess with your white boys, now she went black. Wait a minute, guess you went and got yourself a real life. Got yourself some booty shots and lip filler.
Marcus, good morning, good morning.
You ain't nothing nice, radiator has because up close, baby, you a ghost, you a demon, and you should
Black
float.
Dragon, yes. I have telekinesis, which is making my head hurt. I have the ability to. No, my stomach just hurts, and yeah, I'm tired of crap.
But you really here for the ride. You ain't really feeding no sheep. You're a K9 in disguise. Should've never gave you nothing but a.
But now y'all see me start flying around in this chair floating, and y'all know the side of
every nickel and dime because you a lie. Oh, you a front. You gon' say anything as long as you get what you want. You ain't got yourself a new man. It ain't even been a month. I feel sorry for your boo because he don't know what he's signed up for.
Or otherwise in your house while you're throwing your spinning to the
I heard that you met him at the bar. Okay, don't try to do him like you try to do me, baby. You a cold blooded killer like.
Good morning, everybody. Esther, good morning. Danny and Nick, I see y'all. Good morning, Aurora.
Get out the way and just go and just go and just float. Just float like a balloon. Apple, empty bottle, cool, styrofoam, and most dead bodies. You killing me, homicide. Look at your lying eyes. I should have been better laced because I failed too many times. If money's the root of evil and you call yourself a dime, you gotta be penny wise. 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 Cause up close, baby, you a ghost. You a demon, and you should float. Get out the way, and just go, and just go, and just float.
Why you tryna play me? Telling me I'm crazy. Tryna prove me wrong in every fight. Knowing that I'm right. Why you tryna wreck me? Always wanna check
Purple Rain Hearts, good morning, good morning.
Put me out in front of friends. Careful where you tread before this ends. You love me and I love you, but butting heads is what we do. Bullheaded, stubborn, wild, crazy lovers. You love me and I love you. Why can't we just match the two? Why we get so mean? Light the match, I'm kerosene. We're fire. Oh, baby, we're fire.
Seven Sweetheart, good morning.
We're fire.
Be smacking. How do you do it, bro?
Say you love me and
now, hey, yes, you're right. Chuck Diesel's gonna bring everything in the house over there.
bullheaded, stubborn.
Edward Green, good morning.
Crazy lovers. You love me and I love you. Why can't we?
Susan, good morning, good morning,
Susan. We get
Susan.
so mean, light the match, I'm kerosene.
Carly, my pleasure. Good morning to you. Goku, what's up, brother Goku? I'm about to go Super Saiyan on y'all.
Why you tryna play me? Telling me I'm crazy. Sitting on the other side of me. Always cross-examining. Don't you think it's silly? Why won't you just trust me? Why can't you just look me in the eye? And no, I never lie. Why you tryna play me?
Renee, this is fire by your
Tryna put me wrong in every fight. Knowing that
Melanie, love you too. Good morning. Kenneth Ingram, good morning, good morning.
Wanna put me out in front of friends.
Diallo, Ultra Instinct, Bubba, exactly.
You love me and I love you, but butting heads is what we do.
It's over with a Kamehameha in a minute. Kamehameha my ass to sleep after the show.
Why can't we just match the two? Why we get so mean?
Paradise, you may be able to look it up on YouTube. Fire. Yigitilla. It's Y-I-G-I-T. Y-I-G-I-T. Melanie, good morning.
Yeah, oh, we're fire. We're fire.
Brenda Johnson, good morning.
Just another sunny day.
Right, that's why I'm not even gonna do the whole thing. All right, y'all, coming back to the screen, we have Ben and Rebecca.
Hey. Welcome back.
To like it or not.
Yeah.
Well, we're free to tell the truth.
We're tell the truth, did not care who doesn't like it.
It's one of those things.
Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry.
It was such a mix. Like, we're free to tell the truth. And, Bubba, then Ben. It was all.
I was just yielding the floor. I was just getting out the way, Rebecca. You got it.
I am. Well, we're going to get to some news. I definitely want to knock this out. And it sucks, but this is important for us to definitely get through. So this is going to be updates about the Colorado shooting. So the 21-year-old Ahmad Al-Aliwi, Alisa, has been charged with 10 counts of murder in the first degree for yesterday's mass shooting at a grocery store near Denver, Colorado. The motive for his attack is still unclear. On Tuesday, police also released the names of those murdered. Denny Stong, who was 20, Nevin Stanistic, 23, Ricky Olds, 25, Trelona Bardowiak, 49, Susan Fontaine, 59, Terry Leaker, 51, Boulder police officer Eric Talley, 51, Kevin Mahoney, 61, Lynn Murray, 62, Jody Waters, 65. These people should be alive today. In the past week alone, the United States has seen at least 7 shootings, in each of which at least 4 people were injured or killed. In a statement made on Wednesday, President Biden ordered the flags to be flown at half-staff for the victims of the mass shooting near Denver, but he also acknowledged how quickly he's ordered this after a similar order, saying, quote, less than a week after the horrific murders of 8 people and the assault on the AAPI community in Georgia, while the flag was still flying half-staff for the tragedy, another American city has been scarred by gun violence and the resulting trauma. Reacting to the mass shooting in Denver from the day before, Senator Richard Blumenthal spoke during a Senate committee meeting. Let's take a listen.
America awoke today to another nightmare, stunning, shocking, savage, but unsurprising. Inaction has made this horror completely predictable. Inaction by this Congress makes us complicit. Now is the time for action to honor these victims with action, real action. Not the fig leaves or the shadows that have been offered on the other side, along with hopes and thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers cannot save the 8 victims in Atlanta or the 10 last night, including a brave police officer. Thoughts and prayers can't save the 24,000 people killed every year, or the 26 blacks killed every day, the 8 children killed as a result of unsecured weapons every day. Thoughts and prayers are not enough. And yet, thoughts and prayers is all we have heard from my colleagues on the other side. Thoughts and prayers must lead to action.
I can definitely agree with that. Thoughts and prayers must lead to action. Responding to Senator Blumenthal's comments, Ted Cruz had a turn at speaking. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Senator from Connecticut just said, it's time for us to do something. I agree. It is time for us to do something. And every time there's a shooting, we play this ridiculous theater where this committee gets together and proposes a bunch of laws that would do nothing to stop these murders.
I will beat this.
Senator from Connecticut just said the folks on the other side of the aisle have no solutions. Well, the senator from Connecticut knows that is false. And he knows that's false because Senator Grassley and I together introduced legislation, Grassley-Cruz, targeted at violent criminals, targeted at felons, targeted at fugitives, targeted at those with serious mental disease, to stop them from getting firearms, to put them in prison when they try to illegally buy guns.
But
what happens in this committee after every mass shooting is Democrats propose taking away guns from law-abiding citizens because that's their political objective. But what they propose, not only does it not reduce crime, it makes it worse. The jurisdictions in this country with the strictest gun control have among the highest rates of crime and murder. When you disarm law-abiding citizens, you make them more likely to be victims.
Wow. Offering a little in the way of solutions, Ted Cruz made no apologies for his current anti-gun control stance, and then he continued to say more.
I agree it's a time for actions. And by the way, I don't apologize for thoughts or prayers. I will lift up in prayer people who are hurting, and I believe in the power of prayer. And the contempt of Democrats for prayers is an odd sociological thing.
Prayer got us more people killed.
Y'all pray for me to not catch a charge dealing with these dumbass politicians. Go ahead, Rebecca. I'm sorry.
No, actually, we could take a break right there before we get to these next few videos.
Did you see Ted Cruz get that mad over the 10 people that got killed? No. Did you see Ted Cruz get that mad over the 8 people who got killed last week in Georgia, in Atlanta? No. Did you see any of them get this angry over the children who were slaughtered at Sandy Hook? No. They get this angry over guns. If they have, y'all better pray for me, because there's nothing left to be said to these clowns. There's no analysis that needs to be given. We understand the problem. The problem is that they worship money, and the gun lobbies have a lot of money to give them. And so they are going to prostrate themselves before the altar of weapons of the gun manufacturers in order to keep getting money. Ted Cruz, I don't want to use language that insults the sex worker community, but Ted Cruz is kissing some ass in order to get some money from these gun manufacturers at the expense of actual human life. There is nothing left to be said to these clowns, and y'all better vote them out of office, because the alternative is for us to show up in front of their yards with pitchforks and torches.
Let me tell you something. Here's my thing. Blumenthal said something very important, I think that we should really go with. First of all, Blumenthal, do not call black people blacks.
Yes, black people. Black people.
He said blacks. I just, I hear you. But just a little thing. I just want to help you.
I saw you grimace when he said that. I was like,
couldn't believe it. He said in blacks.
It just hit me like,
sir. But anywho, he did say things like inaction is the real action. That speaks louder than words. We are complicit when we sit and do nothing. And we give thoughts and prayers every single time they kill our children. And these mass murderers, these terrorists will go into schools, kill our children. They'll go to the grocery store, kill regular folks, just because they had a bad day. I don't care who you are. I don't care what race you are. And most commonly, the domestic terrorists here in the country have been white. So let's go with that. Those mass murderers have been white. But whoever you are, how you're getting guns and things like that, if we had gun control and gun reform, and if our leaders were really thinking of us when these things happen, we would see less of this. I believe that with every morsel of my being. But, here we have Ted Cruz with his stupid haircut sitting in front of people and really telling them and screaming for the people in trailer parks who like to go shoot animals for fun, and or people who are mentally ill who store guns high up in the closet just in case they feel like somebody tried them or they're having a bad day. It should not be, or in states and cities where people can just walk up to the damn gun store and pick the gun up 5 minutes later, use that same gun and go kill people. Like, this is what he's saying is okay. Because he hasn't created a solution. All that yelling that he was doing, didn't hear one solution. He said that if we put these things into law, we all know that nothing will happen. Nothing will change. People will still do this. So you are not putting any solutions on the table. All you're doing is saving them, the NRA. You're speaking for the NRA.
Exactly.
So it's not fair. It's not fair that you don't see those 10 names that I read off as anything to really
get angry
give any emotion about, give any emotion about, do anything for. And so that's what's disgusting, and that's who our leaders are. He should not.
But you know what, Rebecca? We shouldn't be surprised because he didn't even get. He's the man that just threw his daughters under the bus in order to get out of trouble about going to Cancun during the whole not just the panoramic, but during the snowstorm in which people died in his state, right? He didn't get that mad when Donald Trump called his wife ugly. Ted Cruz, you did not get that angry when Donald Trump called your wife ugly. What did you do? You got on your knees and you licked his boots. That's what you did. And this is what you're doing. Nah, I'm not going to say that.
Benjamin Dixon, we got a whole guest coming on the show.
I'm not going to get canceled. Come on, man. I'm trying to circumnavigate all of the angry vitriol rhetoric that I learned growing up. And a lot of it is rooted in homophobia, is rooted in sexism. It's all kind of shit I like to say to this man, but I can't because I'm trying to be better about the way I describe things. The only thing I got left to say to Ted Cruz is, man, if you can't even get that angry over him calling your wife ugly, then you are not a man. You are not a human. You're nothing. You're the feces that... Anyway, run that B-roll of his haircut because I think that's also something, quiet as it's kept.
That's telling. He's very telling.
It is very revealing. It is very revealing because his haircut looks like a mullet / Eddie Monster. Like it's got a lot going on.
It's is it a slick down on the side?
It's slick down.
It's slick down, and so he's giving a faux mullet. And he wants to represent, to me, the people that like to carry guns. You know, he's out there in Texas. Is Ted Cruz even? Is he Hispanic? I always wondered that. Did he have that? I didn't know.
I think he's Cuban descent.
And oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's probably he's on that.
What is that haircut doing? It is half mullet.
The other side is swooped over. Okay. So he's giving us a swoop on one side to let us know that's that conservative side. That's that conservative. And then he's giving us white trash on that. He
needs to be mad about that haircut. That's what he needs to be mad about. If he's angry with anybody, he needs to be angry with his barber.
He didn't look
he asked for that haircut.
Previously. Like, y'all, he's really trying to look like Trump, dumbass. Because it's like, he didn't do none of this until Trump was in office. He started slicking that shit back.
That's right.
Then he started growing his beard, everything.
Yeah.
He's trying to be Trump, man.
He's trying to look like Trump.
He's such a
oh my gosh.
But your last name is Cruz, sir. Like, there is no way.
Donald Trump talked about his wife, and he's going to go get a haircut to look like Donald Trump. What kind of I don't have any way to describe that other than what they do. That's what.
Well, to me, in this particular case, I will say that the people that lost their lives should be enough for our leaders to make moves and to start running and creating laws to make sure that guns are not easily accessible. I don't know. People are like, it can't be done. It can't be done. We can't do it. No, it can be done. Other countries have done it. And I don't understand why. And he said something. He said, states that have stricter gun control are the ones that have the worst issues with guns and murders.
As if people don't,
It's people. Did you not hear? Sometimes these people be traveling from these free states, whatever, and pull up to these other states with these guns and start terrorizing.
Listen, the guns that plague Chicago come from Indiana. That's how it works. And I know we have a couple more clips in this segment. and I think the rest of the clips are just going to make us even angrier, Rebecca. But our Adrienne Lawrence is in the house, and she's going to be joining us for the second hour. So let's go to a quick break. When we come to a quick break, we're gonna make our guest. She's going to have to suffer through this clip of Joe Kennedy talking his nonsense, and we want to get her take on that. James, take us to a break. More Like It or Not after this.
Just another sunny day in Southern California. It's where the people came to play.
On site.
Don't let them transform you.
Streaming from Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Make sure that you hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that you share, comment, subscribe, y'all. It's Like It or Not. Make sure that you stay tuned. Adrienne Lawrence is coming up next, y'all.
It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime fun. You got every act to do. Who cares what the people think? It's been turning kinda gray in Southern California, but I'm allergic to the rain. What happened to euphoria? Oh, oh, don't worry about it, don't worry about a thing. I'm too excited, dark liquor with the palm trees. It's all or nothing.
Shout out to everybody, y'all.
It's all or nothing. No,
make sure that y'all hit that like button. Chuck Diesel, don't break anything.
Come and see what you've been missing.
Sensation, I see you, dancing. Courtney, I see you.
It's the only place we're living. It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime. I could really use a change of scenery. Yeah. Everybody smoking all the greenery. Yeah. Close the matches, they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly.
Courtney, good morning. Nick, good morning. Mara, good morning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
I could be a hater like you. It could all it was. Pills to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out. So right now, say it with your chest now. Say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free.
Elizabeth G, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Take me here and now. It's my time to run it out.
Martha, good morning, Martha.
It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody.
Heart song. This is I'm Still Fly by Rebel Day.
And now it's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh. Cheers to all the haters, cause you proved to me that rising to the top was my destiny. Yeah.
Justice, I appreciate that. You know I try to stay fly.
I'm still fly, I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Clothes to make the man, but that
yes, mama, it does, no. Sam, I appreciate the love. Thank you so much.
It's time to say it with your chest now. Say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it
y'all. Ben is putting honey packets in his tea, y'all, right now.
It's my time to run
for Popeye.
now.
Oh, I just remixed it. Okay.
If you're on the bus, say yeah. Yeah. If you're on the train, say yeah. Yeah. If you gotta walk, say yeah. Yeah. Everybody's going somewhere. Yeah. Young or old, I really don't care. Yeah. Life has never really been fair. Yeah. So put your
brought you on the screen.
And then it's like, I'm gonna get y'all.
I'm so sorry. It was, you couldn't hear us talking in the background, but that's my favorite part of the song, Adrienne. And I was like, throw us on the screen for it. Ladies and gentlemen, non-gender conforming individuals, welcome to Like It or Not. For the first time, and definitely will not be the last time, Adrienne Lawrence, thank you so much for joining us. How are you this morning?
Thank you for having me. I'm all right. I'm up early. I'm pepped. I got this. So thank you for having me.
Girl, the beat was necessary. We made sure that we're going to make sure that that beat is going to great use here on the show. You look great, girl.
Rebecca, you know, we have a very diverse audience. You might have to break it down. What the
okay. So, you know, the beat, you guys, is her makeup and how she looks. We were backstage and she was saying, you know, usually sometimes we won't read the email. We just know that we have to go on the show or we have to make an appearance or whatever. So we don't know if it's just a phone call or a video. And she was saying, thank you for letting this be video because I didn't want all of this to go to waste.
His hair and makeup get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and we on audio. Listen, we want to get into a lot about who you are and your work, but we still have to dovetail our last conversation. All this foolishness that we're getting from Republicans, it's the same thing that we get all the time, where they are more upset about the possibility of gun control than they are about the lives that were taken. And I want us to take a look at this first clip from Joe Kennedy. He is the senator from Louisiana. And he is breaking it down in a way that is so offensive, but this is what is considered leadership in the Republican Party. Let's take a look at it.
I'll be brief, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the opportunity. I've listened to my colleagues' comments with interest, and I join with Senator Feinstein in hoping that we can do something about this. But I do think we ought to keep this in perspective. What has happened in the last few days, what's happened in the last years, is of course tragic. And I'm not trying to perfectly equate these two, but we have a lot of drunk drivers in America that kill a lot of people. We ought to try to combat that too. But I think what many folks on my side of the aisle are saying is that the answer is not to get rid of all sober drivers. The answer is to concentrate on the problem. We have had a problem in this world for some time with both domestic and international terrorism. Many terrorists happen to be Muslims. When a Muslim jihadist blows up a school full of school children, we are often told not to condemn all of the actions of those of the Muslim faith because of the actions of a few. And I agree with that. So why doesn't the same rule apply to the 100 million plus gun owners in America who are exercising their constitutional right? And I think we ought to keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, as we talk about this issue.
Now, I inadvertently called him Joe Kennedy. Clearly, he's not Joe Kennedy. He's John Kennedy, which is even worse in terms of the legacy of the name. But I digress. The point is this level of ignorance, this level of whataboutism, right? Trying to draw an analog between drunk driving deaths and gun massacres that happen on a regular basis. Also, Adrienne, I want to throw in here the fact that he's trying to pretend as though the Republican Party hasn't built an entire dynasty around the fact that they vilify entire groups of people. When one Muslim person does something, they would take us into an entire war over that. But here he's trying to play as though he's a reflective, pensive kind of thinking with regard to how do we protect guns, even if those guns are used against human lives. What's your take on that?
You know, after hearing that clip, it's like, I don't know where to necessarily begin. Do I start at the ethnocentric anti-Muslim trope that's been waged at the end? Or do I start with the false equivalence when we're talking about drunk drivers and guns? But kind of to hit the latter first, this thought that Muslims are innately violent and that they're the terrorist extremists. It's just interesting what we call certain behavior when we want to completely ignore the mass genocides committed by white cultures over years that they like to call progress. Anyways, but going back to the beginning of what he said, trying to draw this kind of equivalence there between drunk drivers and guns. The thing is, when it comes to driving, that cars serve a purpose that can, universally help individuals in society. Guns, on the other hand, help me out here. If you're not living in rural Montana, out here, shooting animals so you can go home, skin it, and eat it, why do you need an AK-50 whatever so that you can walk down the street, in a major city? It's continuously obnoxious, and it's just say that you want NRA kind of money. Just say you want to maintain this us versus them stigma, but don't try to say Second Amendment. Don't try to say, oh, well, there are a lot of dangerous things. At least treat us with the respect of just telling us we really like that money.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is the stupidity didn't stop there. The ignorance didn't stop there. Senator Kennedy went a step further on Fox News, calling for idiot control. Let's take a look.
Jesus Christ.
But you don't stop drunk drivers by getting rid of all sober drivers, which is what many of my Democratic friends want to do with respect to the Second Amendment. In my judgment, we do not need more gun control. We need more idiot control.
Whew. Yeah, Adrienne.
So he started off, grouping the people, one group of people, and saying that this was the issue, and that was Muslims. He wanted to say that they're the ones that that are in control and have been doing the terrorist attacks, not looking at the history of what's been going on, even this year alone. We know what's been happening, and that's been white males who have been terrorizing. That's the truth of the matter. But they won't call that out. But as soon as it's somebody who may be of Middle Eastern descent, they'll go out there and start using that as an excuse and saying why guns need to be on the streets to protect people. Now he's going on Fox News or whatever and saying that it needs to be idiot control. We don't need gun control. We need idiot control. It doesn't make any sense. I don't care how they try to word it, how they try to put it. The rhetoric will never make sense. We need gun control. We need gun control. And that's it.
It's low hanging fruit, but I'm going to throw this out here. And Adrienne, I want to see what your take is. But if we need idiot control, I think we need to start with John Kennedy and the Republican Party. What's your thoughts?
You know what? And that's, I love that you make that observation, in part because these people weren't idiots when they were buying up these guns and you thought that they were perfectly okay, but now they're idiots. Get out of here. It's like the problem is the access to guns, in addition to this mindset of ethnocentrism, anti-everyone who's not white, cis, hetero, and male. And if we're going to at least tackle one of those things, let's start with the guns, because seriously, this is what I think in 2020, there was a registered at least 40 million guns sold, which was a spike during a pandemic when people aren't necessarily even supposed to be leaving their homes. We have a gun problem in the United States, and until we actually confront it, we're going to have more flags at half staff. Our flags are never going to see the top of the staff.
That's and when Joe Biden, it wasn't even 7 days. It wasn't even a full 7 days before he had to call and say, let's lower the flags again and have staff. And in my mind, I was like, at this rate, they'll never go back up. Just like you said, they would never go back up. I want to shift gears here a little bit, and because we have a couple other stories, we want you to sit in with us for the remainder of the hour if you can. And before we go to any of the other stories, I want to talk about you and your work. You're general counsel and director of outreach for Better Brave, a nonprofit dedicated to tackling sexual harassment and discrimination in the workplace. But you're also on-air commentator, TYT. I've seen you all over the place, diversity, equity, and inclusion. You're advocate, and you have a book, Staying in the Game, the playbook for beating workplace sexual harassment. Could you just tell us about you and all that stuff that you're doing?
Yes, it's interesting because having spent pretty much the vast majority of my professional career in really this big corporate space and now going out on my own to be able to build my own legacy has been it's a worthwhile experience. It's fantastic. And it seems that everything that I get involved in involves some form of equity, whether it's a gender or race. But the thing is, it needs to happen. And one thing I'd love to share, since I guess today is the day I can announce it, my book, Staying in the Game, The Playbook for Beating Workplace Sexual Harassment, won an Axiom Business Book of the Year award for 2021.
Hey. Congratulations.
Thank you. For women and minorities in business. So, because to be able to get that information and knowledge out to people so that they can understand what's going on in these corporate kind of chaos situations. Because, hey, the system will target us in various ways to shut us down because it wants us to play small. So being able to educate and inform people is fantastic. And that's something I also do at Jennifer Brown Consulting as a diversity consultant, and then Uplifting Voices at Better Brave. And so it's been a journey, and I can dig it. And then, as you know, putting my voice out here on television so I can get all this worked up for y'all 6 in the morning. Yep. Trying to hit the high notes.
Let's do it, girl.
Like this.
You say you woke up like this? woke up like that. I feel you.
I love it. I love the confidence. And about this book, that's good that you are able to help other women talk about the situations that we go through in the workplace, but also help us to definitely stand in our own and speak up. I absolutely love that. And to win an award for that during, it's Women's History Month. So I'm just going to love on every woman that comes on the show. Okay. So Adrienne, you're going to get loved on. So I really thank you for that. And if you could say the name of your book one more time so that people who are watching could know where to get it, where to find it, where we could buy it.
Yeah, it's Staying in the Game, The Playbook for Beating Workplace Sexual Harassment. And it's available at all major retailers, at your local mom and pop shop, Amazon and whatnot. And something I will kind of plug is a lot of people think that sexual harassment is like, people coming on to you. And that's kind of a misnomer. It doesn't have to do with sex. It's about power. And so it also includes like gender harassment, like those little slights, or maybe people don't invite you to the meeting and you're the only Black woman. And that intersection there with race, gender. But the reality is it puts you in a position where you could lose your livelihood, where your ability to pay for your child and take care of yourself, or even to retire, is now jeopardized. And so you gotta lock and load and be ready. Document everything. And that's something I take a lot of pride in, being able to break that down to tell you what you need to do, what you should look out for, and how you stay on top. Because the thing is, they will try to sweep the leg every time, and you got to be ready.
Talk about it, because I know a lot of people who are watching right now definitely understand. It isn't just something that may be physical. They might say a comment or two, and you, being the only woman in the room, feel like, okay, if I don't say anything, I'll keep my job. They'll invite me to the meetings, maybe, or things like that, because it's them against me. But we have social media, we have voices, we have everything to put y'all behinds out and make sure that we can work in these workplaces comfortably. No more biting our tongues. No, it's not happening. Not in 2021.
No.
I'm curious in terms of like your research for the book and in like the people that you have touched with that book. How women in particular? Actually, no. Let me flip it on the head. Men who read the book and men's reactions to the book, how many men can actually see how they have played a role in not only really like stifling brilliance? Because that's one of the things that I've noticed in a lot of workplaces that I've been in. Like if they had just listened to the women who were sitting at the table, who were telling them the truth from like 6 months ago, like we could have, as a company, gone so much further. So I'm just curious, have any men had any epiphanies around your work?
Well, interestingly enough, so I wrote a piece for the Harvard Business Review because they really liked the book, because I keep it super low key, easy to understand. And so in writing a piece for that, one of the editors read it, and it was a gentleman, white male. And he loved it. He thought it was really good. And the interesting thing about workplace sexual harassment is that I acknowledge it happens to men too, very often. It's just the fact that it doesn't mess up men's careers. Men don't feel threatened by it. They're like, research even shows that, let's say you come on to a man in the workplace, he's like, "Ooh, this is cool." And so he's like, "Oh, it's exciting." Where a woman is like, "Jesus, like, I just wanted the expense reports, Bob." It's a whole different take, and it's scary because when you're like smaller, littler, and also it's just these dynamics of I didn't come to the meeting for this. It's a whole different setup, and the thing I found to be most interesting is that a lot of the men who read it, maybe it was already preaching to the choir because they're not harassholes. They don't have these problems.
Harassholes.
And the reason, that's what I call them because that's what they are. It's like they're insecure.
Look, I got to write that down. That's a good one. Harassholes.
You need to copyright that. You need to copyright that, Adrienne. Copyright that.
It's Adrienne's word. We need to make sure that they know.
So the men reading it are. Yeah. You were saying the men who generally read your work like preaching to the choir, they're not the harassholes.
Exactly.
I want you to finish that thought. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is that people will harass you because they're trying to get you to play small. That means they're threatened by you. They're insecure, whether it's just your presence there or maybe you're rising to the top. So they got to knock you down a notch. And there are various ways people can knock you down. And one of them is using sexualized or gender-laden nonsense. And so this is just a mechanism of bullying. But the thing is, it shows up in a way that takes advantage of our gender societal dynamics where women are generally afraid of dudes acting up. And so it's a different way in which you handle it. And it also manifests in very different ways. And so kind of getting an idea, like my favorite chapter is one where it's the not safe for work coworkers. And I identify the 5 type of men and the 5 type of women who tend to be harassholes and give you like the basis. And the thing is, we read this and I know who that person is. I've seen that person. I've worked with them. Because if you don't know how to identify it, you don't understand what it is, you can wake up one morning and you out of a job and you have no recourse, and the fact is that Black women file 3 times as many workplace sexual harassment complaints with the EEOC than white women do. And it's not because we complain more, it's because the system is trying to silence us, to get us to play small and to shut us down more. And so you gotta be prepared. You have to.
Yeah.
Wow. That definitely trending in our chat room, if nowhere else, is harass holes. I think that's the first time everybody has heard that. But your work, it sounds so
fitting
needed.
Because it's on.
It's everywhere. it's like, and it's almost like obvious that it's everywhere, but people still like to pretend like it's not everywhere. In the year of our Lord 2021, there's still people who attempt to make it seem as though this is like just another facet in the cancel culture versus a way for people and women in particular to be able to simply exist in these workspaces. Could you talk about that just a little bit? And then I want to pivot to your commentary work.
So as you kind of noted already, it's the ability and opportunity to exist in these spaces. And there are various ways that people get torn down and they're brought down. They're all just forms of bullying. And one of them is sexualized or gender. And the thing is, it'll show up in super subtle ways. For example, a form of sexual harassment against a man. If you decided to take paternity leave, and maybe the guy in the office is giving you shade for it, man up, those kind of comments, that's actually technically sexual harassment. It doesn't necessarily mean it's enough for you to run in court and have a case. But when you look at all these behaviors, what they're trying to do is normalize you to the 1950s Mad Men gender norms that had women at home waiting on, their boo with a, plate of dinner ready and men in the boardroom. And also it kept us Black people out of workspaces. So that's why us racialized women will experience far more sexual harassment than others, because this is about the system and maintaining the power structures. And so that's why we're targeted more. That's why we experience it more. It's just, unfortunately, as research has shown, people of color and Black women, Latinas, we tend not to think of it as sexual harassment because it just feels like such a clinical term. But it's like, dude, you got to know what it is so you know how to combat it, but also so you know how to document it, to back up your receipts. So if you have to leave that company, you're going to leave with some cash in hand. Amen. And that's what my book teaches you how to do from start to finish, because there's a good chance they're going to try to put you out simply for the fact that you weren't willing to put out or put up with the nonsense.
No, this is
Damn.
no. That I need all women who are watching and who are in the workplace virtually right now, or in physically or whatever, and are dealing with this. That's a good point. You guys have to make sure that we're documenting this, and that's something that I didn't know working in the workspace, especially being really young, not being able to really identify and get to tell, hey, I feel uncomfortable. Like, you shouldn't be speaking to me this way. Those kind of things, not really being able to say anything, because if I did, I was still looked at as, did that make you uncomfortable? Do you feel like we need to say something to him? But they're looking at me like, it's not going to matter. You know what I mean? So document anything. They're doing it through these people in these workspaces, these men. Stupid. They are they're harassing through email. They're harassing you through DM. They will find you on social media, things of that sort, and they will harass you. So definitely, thank you so much for pointing that out. That is very true. Document so that you ain't leaving these jobs without getting your coins. What to do?
I love that. Somebody wants to know. Again, I'm gonna put the title of the book in the chat room. We're gonna take a real quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna cover some more news and some more politics. The title of the book is "Staying in the Game: The Playbook for Beating Workplace Sexual Harassment." James, take us to a quick break. More Like It or Not when we come back after this.
Hope y'all are enjoying the show thus far. Adrienne Lawrence, she is over here killing it and toying the new word to harass hoes, and it is trending. So make sure that y'all hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Hit that like button right now. My arm hurts, so I'm not going to put that anywhere. But make sure that y'all hit the like button, y'all.
Nothing to me. E-boys like you every dinner. I don't believe what you preach. You're just a rookie beginner. Hang out with boys in the streets. Like that will make you a winner. I don't believe what I see.
Come on, Stimmy.
You're wearing gold. You're nothing more than silverware. Thinking you're so bold, but all you are is unaware. Walk around like everything belongs to you. Talk to me like I'm the young stupid fool. Take off all your clothes. You're nothing more than silverware.
Kimberly Frazier, good morning.
Why you calling me honey? Why you show off your money?
Brand, good morning, good morning.
Wave it like it's a tissue. Baby, this is your issue. I'm not falling for bullshit. If you like me, then say it. You don't get that I see it through.
Who is that? Who is Derek Jackson? Because I see him popped up all over my timeline. I don't know who he is.
You and me ain't right. Why you wearing gold? You're nothing more than silverware. Thinking you're so bold, but all you are is unaware. Walk around like everything belongs to you. Talk to me like I'm the young stupid fool. Take off all your clothes. You're nothing more than silverware. I'm over you, so done with you. I'm over you, so done with you. Why you wearing gold? You're nothing more than silverware. Thinking you're so bold.
This is Catnip. The name of the song is Silverware by Catnip featuring Mia Furman. Danny San Diego, shout out to you, brother. Good morning.
Rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice. We time, you I know how to make me feel right.
Purple Rain Hearts, I'm not sure if you heard that. That was Silverware by Catnip.
I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk,
Chuck Diesel, please do not break anything, Chuck Diesel.
I'm already on my way, on my way. Why you blushing? Yeah, sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching. Good, show me something. Give me more than one thing. I need more than less than I do. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it.
We're listening to Sweet Talk by Tyra Chanty. Sweet Talk by Tyra Chanty. Mama, don't you be dancing too hard, Mama. I want you to pop a knee out, okay, baby? Come on, Cali Chris, put that in the air, brother. I'm already on my way, We've been dancing all night long. Riding with you way too long. Blizzard Fingers, good morning. And it's natural. I blame these two things on two people that stressed my life out over the past 4 years. But it's okay. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. Comes to you and wait, I think I missed you. There's no one else I'd rather be with. Okay. I won't let you down. I got it. I know you need it. Love is it when you're around. Oh, please say that you believe it. 'Cause I don't wanna lose you. I hope you feel that way too. I am. We'll be trying not to dance too much, man. No, I don't want to lose you, baby. Don't go. And it's hurt like hell, y'all. I'm ready to go to sleep. I got to move a whole lot, if not, I'm gonna fall asleep on the camera. Arm hurt like hell, everything. I'm just struggling, but I got it. I got this. When I get you back, oh yeah. You gonna get it though. All right, y'all, welcome back to the screen. Well, it's time for more Like It or Not. See what I'm saying? Look, you see what I'm talking about?
He said we got too many people on the screen for me to be naming everybody. Welcome back to Like It or Not, everybody.
I was going to run down the list.
Oh, man, we have been, you know what? We vacillate back and forth on this show, whether or not we want to talk about the news or just talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. I think this segment, we're going to talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
I mean, we've been talking a lot about the shooting. We've been talking a lot about that. I think it's a wear and tear on our minds. We've covered it. We're here now. And there's another story in culture that we should definitely be covering. And it's not Kevin Samuels, guys. I know that we've been talking about it. Take it away,
Rebecca.
It is relationship expert Derek Jackson. You guys have probably heard of him or not on social media. A lot of women listen to him. He looks at people's videos if they're going through relationship issues or if they're talking about any issues in their life, lifestyle issues or whatever. And he likes to sit and judge them. And he'll give his expertise on what he thinks they should do. Most recently, he put out a video about being separated. And if you're separated, you're still married. So be careful what you do with other women. Make sure your situation is going into divorce before you commit.
Yeah, that sounds like good advice.
Looks like he wasn't sleeping in front of his own front door because information was leaked out to a YouTuber with another woman actually calling in and discussing her relationship with this relationship expert and who actually turns out to still be married. That thing hit, let me tell you, that news hit and everybody has been dragging him ever since. And when the news hit with video and pictures to add to it, Derek Jackson decided to pull his wife out of the closet he's been hiding her in and make a video to save himself. And in the video, we can actually see, and I think women who watched it definitely saw that there was a disconnect between him and his wife. And his wife specifically looked like, like she was stuck in something.
I thought she needed to blink or something. Like I felt
hopefully,
like maybe her life
hopefully
was in
she's
danger.
stuck in something that she's going to leave with coins. Leaving with coins because it definitely gave us Get Out vibes. But how did you guys feel when you guys saw it?
Oh man, no, I love the fact that we were talking about this behind the scenes. Adrienne, you had that link of this video we're getting ready to watch. You had that thing so handy. I think it took you like less than 0.2 seconds to get that link over to us so that we could play it to our producers, because it's a mess. And the reason I want to play it is because, well, I don't want to talk about the politics. So let's run the clip so people can see this guy. And he's super influential.
Very big.
I mean, like millions upon millions upon millions of views, like making so much money doing this work, giving people advice about marriages. And this is his apology, I believe. Let's take a look at his apology.
To stay away from certain things, to not operate from your lowest self, whatever it may be.
So, when I looked in the comments of this video, I don't know if old boy was trolling or not, but he said, D, I think I want to see a reaction to this video. So let's do it. And by the way, I'm going to speak in third person. A lot of you already seen this, but this is Derek Jackson. A lot of people think of him as a relationship expert and guru and all of that. Well, he and his wife are making this video because apparently at some point in their marriage, or maybe even beforehand in the relationship, he didn't take his own advice and he stepped out and he got involved with other women, as you heard them say. Now, upon first impression, nothing really stuck out to me about him, but more so about the wife. Like, I heard her say that she stands with her husband. She's proud to love him. I heard her say that, you know, this is some time ago. They've already processed this, overcame this, dealt with this a long time ago, and nothing's really new to her. But just by her body language, I was really wondering, like, did he force her to do this video? Like, she looks super uncomfortable, like she doesn't want to be there. But then I watched their live chat that they did right afterwards, and, you know, I kind of caught that this is just a part of her personality, so that kind of explains somewhat of her demeanor. You know, she clearly has a mind of her own, if you saw the live chat too. And she said that the live chat even was her idea. So with that, cool. She wants to stand by her husband. She feels like he's worth it. She has that right. Now, as far as what he said, I understand and I completely applaud him taking accountability, because too many times we see dudes and they got this sob story about how they was raised and, you know, they broken home.
This man is a sociopath. Adrienne, you sent me that video. Please speak.
I'm just, you know, I'm really disappointed that he took responsibility when he could have blamed it on one of his multiple personalities, because clearly there's a lot going on here with him speaking in third person this whole time. Right. It shows he hasn't taken responsibility in any form or fashion. But I do love the thought of this man being this relationship guru and expert, always judging people. And and while he's out here running several relationships, so maybe he is an expert. I don't know.
He ain't that much of an expert, because here he is getting caught and having to do all of this narcissistic situation. If you go through Lil Mama's page, his wife, you see that you have to go all the way deep down in the trenches of 2017 to see that she actually had a life outside of whatever he's trying to create. And every time I feel like she started to live and try to get her mojo, he knocked her up. They've been married. They've been together for a long time, but they recently got married, and they have kids. He's never shown his kids, never talked about his kids. This man has been moving in a way in which he has been he's a bachelor. The woman said, the side chick said she slept in their bed, in their home.
No. Come on.
She said this in her confession and things like that. And she has pictures of the bed sheets. She has pictures of, and that's what hurt me the most. I think what hurt me the most is just looking at her, and this woman is going on her page and her just being so invested in Jesus Christ and in Derek Jackson in his in a lot of his videos saying, I'm not a religious person. I don't do this. But the woman that you've been connected to for these last few years that you've been hiding has been connected to the Lord. And you really are like walking around here and allowing her just to use that. And you manipulate her. You use your religion, you use your Christianity when it serves you, and you manipulate the situation with your wife. You say, God wants us to be together. God wants us to do this. And that's what kills me the most. He's manipulative. He is a narcissist. He is a sociopath. The fact that he went under the video and judged his own video and actually said, me watching it, I would say, is he forcing his wife to do this? But then if I go to the wife, when I went to the wife's page and I went to her live, I see that that's her demeanor. That's how she is. Wow.
Man. to bring somebody into your marital bed. But you're absolutely right, Rebecca, when you talk about the fact that he is manipulative and using God, because he said, oh, I've fallen short of God and God says this and that. And like you said, if this Jackson character is out here saying that he's not a religious person, but all of a sudden he needs to put something on God, clearly he will jump to what he needs to do to try to, maybe repair this. And, the thing that really also got me is he's trying to promote selling his book when he's posting these links. By saying, buy this now. That's a grift of champions. It really is. This is next level.
That's next level. Let's look at. We have one more clip, but I'm thinking I haven't seen it yet, but it looks like it's an interpretation of the confessional. James, is that what this is? It's a parody.
Yes, it has a few cuss words in it, but yes, this is from the female's perspective.
Okay.
I guess what he said in the interview. Yeah, because I didn't even watch the interview. I don't even know who the hell this man is, but it was funny as hell. So,
all right, let's run that video. Let's take a look at it.
A marriage like this, we took vows. And ultimately, I defiled them in every way possible. I had a lot of inappropriate relationships with men, with women, a lot of men, a lot of women. I was fucking, I was sucking, I was in bars, cars, closets, trains, basically.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
I'm a runner, I'm a track star, all of that. Like, it was bad, and I'm not proud of it. And I want to publicly apologize for my choices and my decisions. I was eating ass, and I don't even do that. I don't know. I take full accountability. It's not something that's because of my family.
Oh man! So what when you hear him, that's what he's saying. He was out there living his best life, and he got on the internet talking. Oh my God, that was.
And that's Rebecca. How his wife looked like. Just like she looked like that. Except for I posted and I said it's a shame that she looked like the beginning of the Busset Challenge. She never got to the end of it, and that don't sit right with my spirit. The fact that he never. Let me tell you something. If you ever cheated on me and did me wrong, and you knew that social media was as my husband, and I knew you was a cheater, I know you ain't shit. I knew that. But if you ever allowed social media, your millions of followers to go find me on social media and see nothing but depressed looking woman while you're making money, like tap into me, babe. Delete all that. We're gonna go on photo shoots. We gotta. If we're gonna get this coin, we're gonna get this coin. I'm gonna make sure that nobody drags you. I'm going to make sure that there's no more beating on your mental, on your spiritual. I'm going to make sure that everything that I did, you are financially set after this. Yep. Men are going to come to you. You're going to be able to pay for your mental healing, whatever needs to be done. They're not going to attack you, but he allowed them to go and attack her. Now, when we watch this woman, and we have to always look at it from a gender, if it was a gender switch. When we watch it from like that point of view, yes, if a woman was doing that, it would be exactly like that. But every person in the world would call her a hoe. Everyone in the world would drag her and be like, oh my God, look at the man. That's why we don't mess with women in the streets. That's why you don't mess with women who have certain type of jobs and who have a hierarchy and who are looked at and who are big online, because that's what kind of women they are. A lot of men are sitting there making excuses for Derek Jackson, and I just don't understand how. I don't understand how.
Help me understand. What are some of the arguments? What are they saying?
There's a running narrative that we see with all men, regardless of race, and the thought that, and we actually have this book that they keep citing, the Bible, in which these great men had multiple wives and they were in these relationships. That stuff still lingers and holds true. Because how many of these little press conferences have we ever seen where the wife was doing just like what we saw? No, we have like Elliot Spitzer. We have all of these men with their wives standing by them when they sit and admit to all these transgressions. You know what? I'm okay if the woman is getting her post-nup and she's getting her coins. And so you gonna pay me to be here and to stay in this relationship. Do you? That's perfectly fine. At the same time, when you look like this, Jackson's wife, and she had like the hair bonnet on, she looked very much in a zone. It doesn't seem like she is being taken care of, nurtured, or that she has a full control and grasp. But that's just from my outside observations, but it's not necessarily inspiring, because you want people to control their destiny and to feel like they are confident in what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
like free yourself,
why
sis.
Would you even let her? Why would you even let her get on camera and say, "Hey, baby, I want you to fix yourself up, get ready. We're gonna do this apology video." You let her get on there with a full money on. That says right there how you really feel about her.
Yeah, and when he was questioned about that, there's a woman that had wrote him, and she says to him, "Hey, why would you allow her to get on with a bonnet?" He laughed in response to her and said, "Ha ha ha! That's not a bonnet. That's a hat."
Like, brother, we
has
know
no
bonnets.
Respect.
Derek, we know bonnets when we see one. All right, we know bullshit when we see it. And we know when someone is in distress when we see it. Adrienne, I think you're spot on. I feel like that sister is like, in some form or fashion, she is being held hostage against her will, even if it's just, she's in distress. Right?
Mentally, she's in distress. And it sucks.
How about I think we should normalize in the future, no more apologies, just like write them checks, let the sisters go about their way. If they want to stay, they stay. If they want to go, they want to go. My wife constantly reminds me there should be no apology videos. She's taking half. And I'm like, you ain't even got to take half. I'm going to give you 75% because, you know what I mean? Because like, you don't leave people worse off than where you found them. Derek Jackson, like the sister actually had a life before him.
Yes.
She looked like she is just like hanging on.
She's 31 years old, you guys.
Wow, she's 30. So young.
She's a baby. So
she should get out this and go another way. I hope she does.
Yes.
I hope she got that
you.
money on lock. I hope she read your book, Adrienne, and she got that money on lock somehow, some way, because she, just the fear of not having the security and the stability is such a powerful thing. As a person, I grew up extremely poor, and as an adult was poor, so I can understand how a person can stay in an abusive relationship before security, right? I hope that she has some kind of financial security so she could, whenever she wakes up from whatever spell this dude got over her, she could snap and just go about her business and live her life. Because 31 is young. She got so many years ahead of her.
Yeah, and she has babies with this man. And even on her page, he's had her in such a box that she hasn't been able to fully happily show her children. They always got a star on their face or whatever the case may be. There was even at one point he was holding his daughter and she had his head cut off and the baby's head cut off. So
I'm sorry, what?
Basically in the picture, Derek Jackson's head wasn't showing and neither was the child. And it's like she can't even be happily in this family, in this marriage and nothing. Like she looks like she's been at church by herself. She goes to church a lot. You can see that on her page. And she goes alone, it looks like. And he's sitting in a car every day. And I'm pretty sure she's at the doorway like, this dude just sitting, this Negro out here just talking this talk and he ain't even good in his marriage. You know what I mean? Those kind of things. There's one photo where I'm like, oh, look at her. She's made up. She's looking good. And in the caption, it says, I ran away from him and he came to get me in a plane.
That's abusive.
Oh, wow.
That's nothing to brag about.
Serious?
That's abusive.
No. Somebody
in the comment section made, and this is the observation, when I first saw the video, I was like, oh, he trying to play her. Somebody just mentioned this in the chat room. He was like, and actually I just read what they said, but ultimately he probably made her come out there like that as a justification of why he cheated. This is what 4Primus said on YouTube. He said a homie of his told him that Derek put his wife on video like that because he was sending a message, quote, look at who I'm married to excuse his cheating.
Yep, wouldn't you cheat too?
I don't care how big you is, bro. You would get run over by a Mack truck playing with people's lives like that. That is some top tier sociopathy right there.
It's toxicity. This is toxic. And so many people are going through this. And that is crazy that you point that out. There are men that after hiding this woman for so long, now that he's been caught, being a hypocrite, he had to show this is what I'm married to. And remember when I was saying that men were in support of Derek Jackson? That is one thing that men that were writing on their social media in support of Derek Jackson saying, I mean, if I was Derek, I would do the same thing. Did you see his wife? Did you see he needs to get love? He needs to be with something that he's attracted to. Did you see what his wife looked like? And I was like, wow, Derek is allowing people to
She was pretty. She was pretty to me in the bonnet and the glasses. Like I'm like,
And
this
be the main ones with the street rates.
What y'all think y'all wives gonna look like at home? What you think you look like at home? He got dressed. He don't look like that at home on a regular basis.
He got dressed.
He probably walk around. His boxers got holes in his boxers. All that money ain't even got a decent set of boxers, right? So I'm just saying, like that's.
I'm crusty, I'm sure. He's nasty.
Yeah.
Funky ass breath in the mornings. You know what I mean?
He don't do nothing. The baby, the car seat is in the car, but he probably don't do nothing with them babies.
He don't even know how to put the car seat in.
Exactly. He put it in as a prop for this video because we never see him as a family man. We never see, but you're always in other people's business every single day. That's your job. You're in other people's business discussing things and judging them about their relationships, about how they may look, about how they are in relationships, particularly women too. So now it comes out and your situation's coming out and you have the nerve to try to flip it, you narc. You have the nerve to try to flip it and make it seem as if like you're the one he almost tried to literally give it that look. I'm the one that's in an issue. I cheated. I had an issue, but the Lord fixed me. The Lord fixed me. And then he's like, he has his wife looking like I want to say homeless, but he has her looking struggling. Yeah. She looks struggling. And he did that on purpose because he did want people to see I'm married to this. And, so I struggled when women would hit me up in my inbox, these beautiful women, these IG models, but I'm married to this, and she loves the Lord, but she's loyal. So I'll keep her.
Listen, let's just put this out here, men. Don't portray yourself to be something you're not. That's all. Don't make a whole career out of doing something that you can't live up to. That's all I'm saying. Like, that's it. That's my advice.
Sis, run. Girl, all you need, listen, take his money, go do what you need to do. Sis, run. Take your kids, go live your life. It's so much better out there. I know it's easier said than done. Yes.
And I get, because I'm telling you.
By this point, she good. Now, I'm sure she, like, her level now, she about to be through the roof. Everybody out here want her now.
Because but she doesn't know that though. She needs to tap into that. She needs to tap into that.
She does. Because now he messed up so bad. Now everybody's like, oh yeah, you don't want to take care of her? Boom, I got you. Come on here, baby.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing he forget. Her DMs have been full the entire time they have been married. Okay, so he's out here thinking, and I'm not saying this is not a judgment against her. This is to say that people wanted her before him. People wanted her during him, and people gonna want her. And I say people because women and men are non-gender conforming individuals. See that sister and say, oh, she look good as hell at home.
Listen,
they gonna want her after him.
There are women that are watching like, oh no, I'm about to, sis, come over, free wigs, free hair, what do we need? Pressing girl.
That's right.
It's nothing. It is nothing that we can't do
to have a whole line.
Sister. It takes nothing. All it was for Derek Jackson, because if you go in his history too, he was wearing wide legs. He was wearing he wasn't the best looking person, but you put somebody in some makeup, give him a good haircut, you do all that.
Got muscles.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have a nasty spirit. And that's all I see about you. That's all I see about you.
All right, we got one more video. We actually are almost out of time, but I shout out to Roland sent the video over so we could watch it. This is Jeff Wright is the name of the actor, and this is his, watch it. Let's take a look at his COVID-19 interview for a job.
This is good.
What's up, Moderna? Hey, Pfizer, what are you doing here? I'm here for the vaccine job. Really? Do you even have a vaccine? Of course I do, and it's 92% effective. That's cute. My vaccine is 94% effective, but who's counting? So you're here for the vaccine job too? Yep. So you might as well get a head start on traffic and go home. Everyone's gonna choose my vaccine. You awfully confident for someone with such a bad name. What are you talking about? Your name literally sounds like murder. Nobody wants your murder vaccine. Come on, man. Moderna doesn't sound like murder. I had 3 meetings and nobody said nothing. Hey, did the job interview start already? Not yet. Who are you guys? See, I told you we weren't gonna be late. I'm Johnson. That's my brother Johnson. We're Johnson and Johnson. Both of your names are Johnson? Yeah. So which Johnson name comes first? Mine does. No, mine does. But I'm older. But I put more money in. Well, it was my idea. No, you said it as a joke, and I said, let's actually do it. Hey, guys, we don't care. Just go by your first names. Johnson? Wait, so your name is Johnson, Johnson, and Johnson, Johnson? Yeah. See, I told you we should have went by the Johnson. No, then we'd be like the Jacksons, and somebody would have to be a Tito. I'm not trying to be a Tito. So you guys have a vaccine, too? Yeah. And it only needs 1 shot. What's your effective rate? 81%. What? What was that? 81. Did he say ampersand?
I think he said Aiden.
Ampersand.
Aiden.
Remember Aiden, the dude from my gym class, the one with the eye thing?
Oh yeah, that dude. What was up with his eye?
I think it was like dead.
When he looked at me, I like felt. I said
cold.
81%.
Oh, hell no.
But we supposed to get more than just COVID, and we working on a new way to take the shot. That's what's up. Cause I'm tired of taking shots in the butt.
Whoa, you do know you can inject it in the arm, right?
What? I knew that. I gotta make a quick phone call. I'll be back. Hey, is this where the interview is happening? I have a vaccine too.
Wait, who are you?
AstraZeneca. That's a cool name.
I would kill for that name.
I bet you would.
Shut up. Why are you so late?
I was working in Europe and I just got in. So you just got off an international flight and then quarantine? Yeah, but that's because they're trying to give me the virus. You kept asking me to pull my pants down.
You Johnsons can leave too. I already got pre-orders from every country. I guess everyone wants my vaccine.
Nobody wants your vaccine. You probably put the chip in people.
That was one time, and it was a chocolate chip. I was trying to end hunger.
Next, Mr. Moderna.
It's Moderna. Never mind.
Okay, well, good news, you all are approved. Okay. Then why did he give me my shot in the butt?
Shout out to Jeff Wright for that video. That was funny. Reactions. Adrienne, what's your thought?
I love that. That was very like welcoming, warm reminders that we got a lot of vaccines out here on this market, and it kind of gives it a little comedic sense to it. So I really like that.
Yeah.
James, you got one. You got shot up, James. What was your reaction to it? Not to the shot, but to the video.
Man, it was funny as hell, dude. It's facts, man. That's everything, and I'm glad they did that. That made sense. That guy, I think we played another video of his on the show maybe about a month or so ago. I think about black people, some with the pawn shop. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, with the government. The government. He was looking for a stimulus check.
That's right. Yeah. He's dope. He's pretty good. And Adrienne, I'm just assuming, like, were you able to get access to the vaccine? Because it's a little tough here until tomorrow in Georgia. Everybody can get it in Georgia. What's it like over there in California getting it?
It's pretty manageable. You know, they're doing per groups, and so I was able to get the vaccine. I think about 2 weeks ago. So I got my first shot, and then I'm slotted for my second shot. But yeah, they're just rolling it out. But still, I ain't leaving my house. I don't trust these people. They dirty out here.
At all.
Talk about it. Listen.
At all, Adrienne. At all.
No, I don't need to be running these streets. They even just remind us just the other day that they got all these guns. I'm not going outside. I'm going to sit here, enjoy my agoraphobia, and keep it real.
Yes. So Adrienne, I'll tell you, I've been in my house, for the last year. And I really want to be in these streets. But like I was telling Ben, after the shootings and things like that, I know I would never go to the clubs. Like, that is dead. Yeah. Like, I need to be on somebody's island, I said, with somebody's son. Like, that's what I want. I want vacations. I want that. But after these shootings and things, I'm like, I don't know. I'll get the vaccine so that I can go, like I said, start from block to block before I'm roaming the streets, before that. But,
strategic visits. You're going to make some strategic visits.
It's strategic, but it's very scary out here. Even to go to the grocery store, I'll be at home with it. I'll be, running, literally physically running when I jog and things like that. But I don't know if it's going to be the same. Clubs is a no for me.
It's not.
Clubs is a no for me.
Yeah.
So when I tell you, I'm staying in.
The way Atlanta clubs look.
I'm good. I'm okay. I don't need to go to the club. Like, even DJing. Oh my gosh. Like, DJing the wedding Monday, and it was cool DJing it because I haven't DJed like that in a long time. But even still, I'm just like, man, I don't feel comfortable. It's too many people, and it's
never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same.
I don't know. I might get back to the same, but it's going to be a whole nother year for me because we got to wait for our kids to get vaccinated because I am not taking that chance with me being out and coming back and just carrying something with me. So as for me in my house, I'm stuck in this house for, 8 more months or so.
You bring the family closer.
Yeah. We're good. We're good. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, my number one job this 2 years of pandemic has been to try to make sure that my kids have fond memories of this time versus all the stuff that's happening outside, all the tragedy that's happening outside. So if that means I got to stay indoors for another 8 months, then we'll do it. That said, Adrienne Lawrence, thank you so much for joining us for this whole entire hour. We want everyone to follow you and find you. Where can they find you and support you?
So I'm on Twitter at Adrienne Law and Instagram at Adrienne Lawrence.
I was Adrienne looks just like Ben.
Rebecca don't give our
that big head up there.
Rebecca does not give.
Turn my camera off.
I was trying to look as serious as I could, but I was going to say the same thing. Everybody, listen, do us a favor. Follow Adrienne Lawrence on social media. If you can, and most certainly grab that book. I'm going to get a copy of it. Make sure you support all of our brilliant Black women authors who are out here doing significant work. Rebecca, you get the last word, and James, take us out of here.
All right, guys, make sure you keep us on your channels, on your minds. Make sure you follow us on social media at Like It or Not Show on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Rebecca Azor on Twitter. And, I'll see you tomorrow. I want you guys to enjoy your day. I hope that Adrienne brought that good spirit for all you women out there, because I feel empowered. Yes. Adrienne got on the show and she empowered me, and I hope that she also empowered you. Make sure you ladies speak up, document everything, and do not settle for anybody like Derek Jackson. I love you guys. Mean it. So see you tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Somebody in the chat room talking about Rebecca always talking about with somebody's son.
Because it got to be somebody's son.
Because she always talking about it. Somebody's son. Y'all better watch out for y'all sons after she get this vaccine. Peace.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
All right, y'all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what day it is. Today is Wednesday, and you already know what that means.
Boy, you had me from the start.
I'm still gonna drop y'all a couple of songs before I get out of here, y'all. Conference call day. Adrienne Law, thank you so much again, Adrienne Law. Adrienne Lawrence, thank you so much again for joining us this morning. It was an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
But something went wrong. The signals got crossed, and now we're on completely different pages. Let's go where we were, where no one gets hurt. Baby, keep it right there.
Get
Don't stress the flow. You're trying to pick the pace up. We should take it slow. Baby, keep your focus.
You can't even get in.
Change my mind. If you love me, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you. Baby, don't you. Baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you. Baby, don't you.
Cam, thank you. Have a good day as well.
Will you take me on a trip? Always up and down and back and forth in merry-go-round. I just wanna get it right.
Yes, Sam, sweetheart. I'm not looking forward to it. The way I feel right now,
cause something went wrong. The signals got crossed, and now we're going different directions. Let's go where we were, when no one gets hurt.
Like Goku said, arms stiff as crap. Can't really move it, but it's okay.
Right there, don't you stress the flow. You're trying to pick the pace up. We should take it slow. Baby, keep your focus. Don't you make me change my mind. If you love me, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you. Baby, don't you. Baby, don't you switch up
the you ready?
Baby, don't you. Baby, don't you. Baby, don't you switch up the vibe.
She on time, but she can't get in right now.
If you love me just like you say you do, don't kill the vibe. If you kill him, you're gonna kill us too. Baby, keep it real.
All right, Mama, I love you too. Thank you.
You better leave me alone. I'm gonna miss you, but I'll be gone. For me, there ain't no other. But you just couldn't
Make sure that y'all hit that like button on your way out. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Just like the let out of the club. It's the last song. Last call, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, so you know when like or not is going down. Shout out to everybody that's streaming on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're streaming from. Make sure you hit that like button and share, y'all.
It's sad but true. You're no good, still I'm loving you. But I made up my mind. I'm gonna pack my bags up, walk out the door. I won't be back. You see me no more. No,
you know I'm trying to jam as much as I can.
You better leave me alone. I miss you, but I'm sick and tired of loving you. I don't know why, just know that I do. Please leave me alone. I'm gonna miss you, but I'll be gone. You know I don't wanna
McKinney, I'll get you tomorrow. I got you.
But
make sure that you remind me though.
It makes me want to scream and shout.
Good evening, Mark. Well, good night, should I say. Have a good night and thank you for tuning in.
You never leave me. But you cheated.
Susan, good morning. Make sure y'all have a good day.
Can't for me at all. You had me at your beck and call. It's true.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna wrap it up for your boy DJ Exclusive. I got a few minutes to this call. Not looking forward to it, but it's all right though. We're gonna make it do what it do. That's the only way that we can do it. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow, where we'll have Nicholas Frundenberg join us on the show tomorrow, and an additional guest. So make sure that you stay tuned with Like It or Not, y'all. It's going down, going down, going down. We'll see y'all in the morning. We love you. We mean it. Thank you for tuning in. See you tomorrow. Peace out, muscle arm.